but I want to talk about Peter Pan and Alice in Wonderland. Now, it's a lovely story, The Boy That Never Grows Up, the love story, of course, between Peter and Wendy. A beautiful story, a story of hope, of courage, of determination, and fighting for who you love, what you love, and all the rest of it. A very, very beautiful story, illustrated here in colour. But it's been given white supremacy trigger warnings. The University Library gives historical children's stories disclaimers for colonialist narratives that could be offensive to modern readers. If you're offended by Peter Pan, you need to get a grip. You need to sort your life out. You need to go check yourself in to a mental institution. And I'm serious about that. But so they've given them white supremacy warnings. Adventure stories and well-known novels written in the 19th and 20th century are likely to include colonialist narratives. It warns that the vocabulary and illustrations in these works may appear racist and upsetting and offensive to modern audiences. So here you have Alice, and some academics have suggested that the hookah-smoking caterpillar in Alice's Adventures in Wonderland is an Orientalist depiction, and there's the caterpillar having a good old boff on the hookah. So that's colonialist. This one here, Verne's Around the World in 80 Days, is in the restricted section because of outdated vocabulary such as coolies. I don't even know what a coolie is, to be honest, but it's offensive, it's restricted. I thought they'd be offended by the fact this fellow's wearing an Indian dress when he doesn't look like an Indian. Native American, I should say.
There's so much wrong with this picture, clearly.
But the list goes on, right? The list goes on. There are a whole load of books. Beowulf, yeah. The Dragon Slaying Anglo-Saxon. I saw this ages ago. That's included because it's been flagged for animal cruelty and ableism.
Oh my god, you know what's so funny about this? This is why I laugh, because the people who are actually classifying these books as white supremacist or racist, like for example the caterpillar that you just said was depicting an Oriental, they're the racist people. I actually think because they're the ones sitting there going, does that look like an Asian man, that caterpillar? I mean that is mental. You have to be you have to be insane to make that comparison, or to even see the comparison in that. I cannot get my head around it.
The problem with Peter Pan, Chloe, is apparently that it references to savages inhabiting Neverland. Now, the savages are Rufio and people like that, who are, if I recall correctly, who have like they're young terrorists.
The Lost Boys.
Yeah, the Lost Boys. They've occupied Neverland, but they're not calling them savages to be racist. They're calling them savages because they're lost, right? They're lost.
They're just taking one little word and extrapolating as far as they can
and
to
they
racism.
Said, apparently Peter in Peter and Wendy, Peter is called the Great White Father while among the Red Indians. And this goes back to that point of everything from our past that we've loved and enjoyed. And I did love Peter Pan. That Hook film with Robin Williams was absolutely fantastic. Such a great film. And everything that's good from our past, things that we've enjoyed and have brought up generations of children to enjoy, are being denigrated and destroyed in the name of this Marxist woke cult. And I don't know what we do about that, to be honest, other than ridicule and laugh at it. Maybe that's all we can do.
But that's the best medicine, isn't it? Like I was just going to say, I think laughter, it was one thing that we now don't seem to have in Britain. Like we used to have Little Britain and Come Fly With Me and all those hilarious shows. And
I follow an Instagram account that reposts the Come Fly With Me.
So do I, because it just makes my day. But I also, you know, where I was born in Northwest London was always quite a diverse community of people. Nobody was offended by it. In fact, everyone loved it. And it didn't matter if you're a white person dressing up as a black person or whatever, because there was no intention to offend you based on your race. But we all have stereotypes. All cultures have stereotypes about them. In fact, those British stereotypes are played out all the time on air still today, having the crooked teeth and the nose and being all snooty or posh. Those are played out absolutely fine. But when it comes to anyone else's ethnicity, that's when there's a problem. It's bonkers. It really is.
Chloe?
It's absolutely bonkers. And whatever happened to that good old saying, don't judge a book by its cover, that we were always taught as kids? And we saw recently the University of Cambridge introducing blacklists of books. Now they then
can't say that, Chloe. Take that word back. You can't say.
Well,
blacklist.
they tried to defend themselves because people saw this and thought that means they're taking the books out of the library that are colonialist. But they said, oh no, we're keeping them. We're just organizing them in the library where you have a section that says this book is colonialist, this book is racist, this book is fascist. You're then literally just putting a label on the book and telling people to judge it by its cover. No one's going to go up to the bookshelf at the library of fascist books and take those all out and happily walk up to the librarian's desk and say, can I check these books out? If that's how you've labelled them,
but
it's absolutely bonkers.
Surely, though, what you should be doing at a university like that, august and ancient as it is actually allowing young minds to be exposed to critical thinking, to actually form their own ideas and opinions. You can't shut off ideas and opinions from them. That's censorship, right? That's, dare I say, I know one person in history who had a thing for burning books, and I fear that that's the kind of totalitarianism that these people are slowly creeping us toward, and I find it deeply troubling.
Yeah, well, I was really upset to see that this was at Cambridge, because what makes Oxford and Cambridge so unique compared to other universities is its commitment to training you to deal with really abstract, difficult, challenging ideas. Whether it's political or in philosophy classes, we'll spend hours being challenged on, are you dreaming? Is the world around you even real? That's how they train your brain to think, is to take an idea that you think is absolutely bonkers and force you to actually criticize it and delve into it properly. And to see that happening suggests to me that that one thing that makes Oxbridge unique is really starting to disappear. That's what worries me.
It was meant to be the founding principle of every university as well. I mean, this is the thing. Critical thinking is what you go to learn at university. It's literally the whole point of it. It's just the next step in education is to be able to look at two sides of an argument and decide, is there a sub layer here that I can find that is what these two authors are talking about? And now it's more about my opinion as the student is this, my ideology is that. That's not what it should be about. I'm offended by X because this person mentioned X race. Rather than actually going and looking for the facts, it's about giving opinion, and this is a huge problem with universities.
But I mean, don't get me started on universities, because I would shut a lot of them down, actually. I would have far fewer students going to university. I think they've become cash cows for foreign money, for the elites around the world to send their kids to schools. They're no longer focusing on Britain. They've got so far off the track of everything that you've just said, the values of the Enlightenment, to actually focus on inculcating young minds with good ideas, or to form their own good ideas. We don't do that anymore, and I think universities are corrupt, broke, and many of them need to go.
And a lot of them are funded by one of our greatest enemies, China. The Chinese own a massive percentage of our universities now, and I think the government have been trying to block them from getting any more investment in. But it's an insane amount, and they have so much power over what is taught in those schools because they sit at a board level and say, I don't want anti-Chinese or anything criticizing Xi Jinping to be taught in that university because my kids are going to go there. This is the kind of stuff that happens at the top level. It's one of the biggest problems with globalization.
Well, we saw a course get pulled. Was it at King's? I can't remember which university it was, because the course had some PowerPoints in it which spoke about slavery in China, and I think some Chinese students complained and said that needs to be taken down, so the whole course got pulled. They've got this much of a grip on our education. I know tutors at my university have said to me before that they have had difficulty with some of the Chinese students not being willing to actually speak freely in lessons or when it comes to political matters, because they've been brought up in a way such that they are scared to speak freely, and that's quite a difficulty for the tutors.
Yeah. Right, on that cheery note then, on the note of, I did try to look for a nice story of Peter Pan and Alice in Wonderland, but alas, they are now racist and problematic, so I'm afraid I can't do. But on that cheery note, we will call it a night. Have you got what it takes to be a reasoned presenter? Well, send us a short clip of yourself to join@reasoned.uk, and we might be seeing you on this very channel very soon indeed.